Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Women's Coalition 2021 Awards, featuring our Robin Morgan Outstanding Woman Award and our John Nichols Ally Award. Before we get kicked off with the awards, we want to make sure that you enjoy a wonderful performance from one of our students, Leah Pring.
Hi, my name is Leah Pring, and I will be performing Speechless from Aladdin. I chose this song because it aligns with my beliefs that women voices are powerful, and we should never go silent just because some believe that we should be seen rather than be heard.
Wow, thank you, Leah, for that beautiful performance. We are so honored to have so many of our students showcase their talent in this year's HerDU. So good morning and welcome to the 2021 Women's Coalition Awards Program. This is my favorite session during HerDU. It's a profound honor to recognize those within our University of Denver community who work to empower women and to make this a more equitable world. Presented each year by the Women's Coalition, the Robin Morgan Outstanding Woman Award recognizes women staff, faculty, students, and alumna who have gone to exceptional lengths to promote and support an empowering environment for women at DU. The award is named for Robin Morgan, a global champion of women's rights and a visiting professor in residence at DU in 1996. First presented in 2001 by the Women's Alliance for Networking and Development, the award seeks to highlight women's accomplishments that reflect the values for which Morgan fought throughout her life. To be considered for the Robin Morgan Award, the nominee must be a current staff, faculty, administrator, undergraduate student, or graduate student, as well as an also eligible or alumna from the University of Denver. For those employed here, they must have worked for 2 years, or for students, they must be at least within their second year of programming. To promote and enhance the university community by addressing the concerns of women is what we're looking for within these awards. People who go above and beyond their role and responsibilities to make DU a better place for women. The John Nichols Award is so named for a male ally, and the first being John Nichols, who really works outside of their scope of responsibility in the community to empower and promote women with all they do. So today I'm going to kick it off with our first award. It's the Robin Morgan Outstanding Faculty Award. I have had the honor of working with Dr. Anna Shear as part of an NSF grant proposal steering committee this last year. I've been inspired by her dedication and ability to bring women together. From her nomination for the Robin Morgan Outstanding Faculty Woman, I know I am not alone. One nominator reads, "It all starts at her door, which welcomes and promises to advocate for people of any gender, race, or sexuality. Anna organizes a monthly brown bag for DU women in STEM fields that promotes positivity, support, and networking. She is also currently leading an NSF advanced grant application to improve equity at DU for the STEM faculty, coordinating between upper administration and STEM faculty. As the only female full professor in biology, she reaches out to the new female faculty, providing advice and insight into the department and Denver in general. She's also putting together a getting started worksheet for new faculty to introduce them to DU, which was passed on from faculty to faculty for years. She organizes social events for the biology faculty, including welcome lunches for new faculty, coffee hours, baby showers, etc. In short, Anna volunteers her time and energy to promote the well-being of women at DU, especially underrepresented women. Unfortunately, Dr. Shear's duties kept her from joining us today, but she did send a short video.
What an honor this is. Thank you so much to Ann Wayman for nominating me and to the Women's Coalition Award and Selection Committee. I also want to acknowledge the nearly 40 people from across campus who partnered with me in writing the NSF grant this last quarter to advance gender equity in the sciences at DU. In particular, Mary Clark, Deb Ortega, and Helen McGuire. When 2 of 3 tenure track faculty in my department who were women did not advance to associate, and another was denied in geography, I realized that it was all our responsibilities, including me, to ensure that women can succeed. It is also important to note that where white women are challenged, women of color and other intersectional identities will be much more so. I encourage all of us to look for those things around us that bring us joy and those things that bring us to anger, because it is there that we find our opportunities to make this campus and our world a better place. Thank you so much.
We're so thankful for Dr. Shear's service and for all that she brings to our community. Next up is the Robin Morgan Outstanding Staff Woman Award. And I'm so very delighted to present this year's award to Rufina Hernandez. I've had the pleasure of working with her on HerDU and Staff Advisory Council for the last few years. Rufina is always thoughtful and always helping us find new ways to be more inclusive and challenge us to consider our biases. Rufina's nominator shared this. Since first arriving at DU for her second stint, Rufina has always gracefully stepped outside of the boundaries of her position to ensure that women were in the know by providing as much information as possible to aid in the advancement of women at the University of Denver. Given her position and the level of confidentiality it calls for, Rufina is not at liberty to share much information. That said, Rufina is very skilled at leveraging other ways of advocating for women and creating space at the big table. She constantly encourages women to get involved in major strategic events happening at the school and to allow their voices to be heard. She counsels everyone to not be afraid to lend their experience to the conversation. This constant encouragement has led to increased participation, increased confidence, and a heightened sense of belonging. These small steps are imperative in the quest towards diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is my honor to welcome Rufina Hernandez to the podium and present her with this award.
Thank you, Tali. Thank you so much for this honor. And I want to thank the Planning Committee for this incredible conference, as well as the Awards Committee for this incredible honor. I am very grateful to be acknowledged in this way, and especially with this award. And I also want to thank Rosalind Fagans for having nominated me, which was a huge, huge surprise. But I thank her from the bottom of my heart. You know, I didn't know much about Robin Morgan, to be honest, and for whom this award is named. And I was curious about her, so I did a little bit of research. And the more I looked into her life, into what she had accomplished, the more I was in awe of her, and the more I was humbled by the fact that I was the recipient of this award. So a little bit about her, because some of you may not know much. She was a person who was active in the feminist movement, but active is probably not the right word. She was a leader in that feminist movement. She grew up in Mount Vernon, New York, late 1950s. She attended Columbia University. She worked as a freelance writer for an editor in the 1960s. Became engaged in the anti-war movement, and in the late 60s, she committed herself to feminism and the women's liberation movement. And she wrote 3 very powerful books. Sisterhood is Powerful in 1970, and she wrote Sisterhood is Global in 1984, and her last edition of this group of books is Sisterhood is Forever in 2003. And all of these books were outlining the conditions of women in the United States, with the first one, Sisterhood is Powerful, in the international realm with Sisterhood is International, or Global, excuse me. And in the last one, Sisterhood is Forever, detailing the condition of women in 70 other areas. My only other suggestion for her would be Sisterhood is Intersectional, and to bring it all together regarding the conditions of women currently. She had numerous quotations, some of which probably are considered radical even today, but certainly one which is very important that I want to carry with me now as I move forward in my own advocacy for women. She says, carry yourself as one who will change the world, because you will. And I take that to heart, because certainly I am a contemporary of Robin. She is a bit older than I am, but not by much. And I have to say that I benefited from those hard-won battles that were fought in those 1960s and 1970s and 1980s, and that continue on today. For those of you who aren't aware, this is my second stint at DU. I started early in my career at DU at the law school as an assistant dean of students, and I loved that job so much that I came back to the University of Denver. And I tell people who are considering their time to be employed here, yes, I think DU is a very incredible community to join. And I would urge all of you, as you continue in this day-to-day effort to ensure diversity, equity, and inclusion is at the forefront of our efforts, to take her statement that, and this one's very special, your life is the one place you have to spend yourself fully, wild, generous, drastic, in an unrational profligacy of self. And in that split second, when you understand that you finally are about to die, uncreate the world, no more chances, that instance where you have no time to do it over, that instant when you realize your conscious existence is truly a flaring nova, won't you want to have used up all the splendor that you are? Viva la mujer que tiene coraje. Viva, long live the woman who has courage. And just to share with you that I am the daughter of Maria, I am the mother of Francesca, I am the grandmother of Isabella and Serafina, and I am the wife of Roger. I thank you all for following your passion, your advocacy. Raise your voice, because it is the only thing we have to continue to win this equality we are all seeking. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Rufina. Knew that was going to make me tear up. All right, our next award is for undergraduate woman staff, or excuse me, Robin Morgan, Outstanding Undergraduate Woman of the Year. Ashley Navarro is a member of our Colorado Women's College Scholars. She has opted to take on the challenge of self-discovery and to walk a path that taps into her strength as a leader in our community. Ashley was nominated by multiple people this year, which is a testament to her impact. One nominator said, Ashley Navarro is a survivor. In the past year, she bravely shared her story and since then has been on a path of growth and change. She now works hard to bring about awareness and love for other survivors. She created a clothing line with the phrase, "Love is not abusive." And I apologize, my Spanish is not good, but we'll go "Viva nos queremos." Beautiful, she pronounces it so much better than I do. Ashley is even launching a brand and public education effort called Sonriendo Palante. The funds from her clothing line go to the Latina Safe House. Ashley has taught us all how to speak freely of what we want and what we deserve. The nominator goes on to say, I met her as a young freshman, and although she is younger than me, she inspires me so much. Ashley not only embraces her Latina culture, but actively seeks to bring in culture, language, and identity into issues like domestic violence. Ashley believes that sex education and relationship building is vital in how young children understand themselves in their relationships. Please help me welcome Ashley Navarro.
I didn't expect to be as emotional as I am, so bear with me. Oh, okay.
Tilt this back a little bit because you're so much taller than I am.
I know, right? There we go. Sorry, y'all. So first and foremost, I would like to thank everyone who has been a support to me and my journey as a survivor of domestic violence. and as well as my healing journey, creating this public education effort that I call Sonriendo Palante. More specifically, I would like to thank my friends, my family, and my peers and mentors through the Colorado Women's College. Thank you so much. I am so grateful for your endless support. I don't have enough words to put the gratitude out there for you. Thank you. Secondly, I would like to say that I'm extremely humbled and honored to receive this recognition, not only because it is a recognition of my hard work and dedication to the field of domestic violence awareness, but also because it is a recognition to survivors nationwide, and it's a testament that change needs to happen. I stand before you today not as a victim, but as a survivor, an advocate, and an educator. I am one of the lucky ones. And it is because I am one of the lucky ones that I will use my voice and not be silenced. And I will use my voice for those who have been silenced. Soy el grito de las que ya no están. I am the cry for those who are no longer with us. And I wanted to say that this is what happens when survivors are given the agency they need to live a life with dignity and respect. I am one of the lucky ones. And I also wanted to take the time to say thank you again. This is truly an honor. I'm humbled and I carry this recognition with great pride. Vivas, nos queremos. Love is not abusive. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
The downfall of, well, one of the many downfalls of you not all being here with us today means that you aren't able to give your congratulations in person. And I see so many of them coming through on the chat. So we will make sure that those all get downloaded and get to the recipients of the awards, because your encouragement is so valuable. All right, our next award is the Robin Morgan Outstanding Graduate Woman Award. Naomi Wright made Women's Coalition history this year by receiving more individual nominations than anyone previously. Over 10 members of our community nominated Naomi as our Robin Morgan Outstanding Graduate Woman, as recognition of her work studying the violence against women. Nominators said, Naomi consistently and thoughtfully advocates for women at DU and beyond. As a new graduate student, Naomi frequently checked in on my transition to DU and shared her passions with me, including several days where we volunteered together at Urban Peak, a shelter that serves Denver youth experiencing homelessness. Both academically and as a member of the community, Naomi has been an outstanding role model. Her personal integrity and accountability are rare, and she constantly seeks to uplift others and learn from her community, especially her female peers at DU, and through her research in understanding interpersonal violence and how to support women experiencing IPV. Naomi creates a safe and inclusive space for anyone she meets and is a tireless champion of equitable action. She has truly made a significant positive impact on myself, the psychology department, and the larger community. Unfortunately, Naomi is not able to join us in person, but she is available with us online. So please send your notes in the chat and thank her for her service to our community and the greater community. Thank her for her passion and for her dedication. All right. And now on to this year's Robin Morgan Outstanding Alumna Woman Award. The Women's Coalition is delighted to have Megan Williams as our Outstanding Alumna winner this year. From her nomination, Megan is an advocate for women in her community. She single-handedly manifested and brought to success execution of the inaugural Colorado Women Leading Government Conference in 2018. Megan loves supporting smart, determined, and funny people in pursuing their dreams through connecting them to other amazing people, breaking down the barriers to success, and being the most enthusiastic cheerleader around. She's an expert at solving problems, not just by talking about them, but by actively creating and implementing solutions targeted at root causes and the audiences they affect. Those who have worked with her describe her as a supportive leader who is tenacious in the pursuit of what is right and a catalyst for change at an organizational level. Megan believes that government leadership should reflect the communities they serve, which is why she has a focus on bringing more diversity into the top spots in local government. In 2019, she created the Colorado Women Leading Government Conference to move the needle on this issue. And in 2020, she started the Lady Power Podcast Club to further this work. She says, when everyone has a seat at the table, we change the world for good. She's an active member of her community and has served as a member and volunteer for Historic Elitch Gardens Theater Foundation, Project Angel Heart, and I Have a Dream Foundation in Boulder. She is an active and engaged alumna who is also married to a fellow alumnus. She is deeply passionate about women and civil rights, and she is definitely someone to keep your eye on. She is making change in her community and positioning herself strategically in the city of Denver political scene. Please help me welcome Megan Williams.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is like, you know, Oscars and Grammys. This is my Oscar by Grammy because I just, women's issues mean so much to me. And when I started working for local government, it wasn't something that I planned. I sort of fell into local government and then just fell in love with it, fell in love with the change that you get to see in your community every single day, fell in love with the people that choose that work. They could make more in the private sector, but they choose to come and really serve their community in this way. And my daughter is on the call today. She's 2, so we read a lot of children's books. And so the children's book I brought today that I'm going to read a little line from is Sophia Valdez, Future Press. I don't know if you have read this book. It is an amazing book where there's a little girl and she walks to school every day with her abuelo, and they walk by this place that's just become this mountain of trash because no one's caring about that piece of the community. And so one day her abuelo gets hurt on this trash mountain, Mount Trashmore, she calls it. And so then she ends up going down to City Hall and she gets a commission together and they turn it into a park. And my favorite line, I can never get through this book without crying. My daughter will tell you. But okay, so this is the line. They all built that park. That's how it got done, with the hard work of, by, and for everyone. But it began with the dream of one person, just one, who laced up her shoes and then led the way to help Blue River Creek get a new place to play. And I think, that's really what I hope we are doing as we try to get more and more women into government leadership. Our first year, we had 120 women attend the conference. This last year, we took it virtual. We had 260 women attend, and we're just going to keep moving forward because local government is really where these decisions happen. When you're talking about the systems that have created inequities for the most marginalized in our community, that's exactly where we can break down those systems and imagine a new world. So if you are interested in joining us in local government, so I'm sure somebody can put my information in the chat, but I just want to thank you all so much for this award, and thank you for everything you all do. The rest of the people that have gotten awards today, it's just been amazing to see everything that you all are doing for the community too. So thank you so much.
All right. We are on to our final award. the John Nichols Male Ally Award. There are so many quotes about empowering women, but my favorite says something like, strong women can do it all by themselves. A strong man won't let them. This exemplifies the spirit of the John Nichols Male Ally Award. This year's award goes to Mo Latif. As the only son in a family with 7 daughters, he learned about advocating for women close to home and carried this work into the world. His nominator said, Mo has served as the Student Affairs and Inclusive Excellence Owners Rep for the Community Commons Project for the last few years. In this role, Mo aims to represent the interests of the owner of the project, the Student Affairs Division and Vice Chancellor. If you take one look at the team of architects and others who have been involved in the project, you will only see 1 or 2 women in a very large group of men. As a colleague, I've listened to Mo over the years talk about gender dynamics within the world of architecture and real estate at large. In these conversations, I've listened to him thoughtfully reflect and engage in actions to address the gender disparities manifesting in the world of design and architecture. When decisions are made without women in the room, I have personally witnessed Mo's advocacy regarding the inclusion and exclusion of his women-identified colleagues. Outside the Community Commons Project, Mo serves as a strategic thought partner to our divisional leadership and is often in rooms where women of color, like myself, are not. I'm comforted in knowing he is in these rooms because I know he advocates for inclusion across race, gender, and ability. Mo has thoughtfully declined the opportunity to accept his award this year. But yeah, come on up, get up here. Yes, please. Let's welcome Mo.
Sorry about that, Tali.
No problem. We're flexible and nimble.
I actually I wasn't planning on saying anything. And I also wasn't expecting the energy in this space, but I feel moved by the spirit that's in here. First of all, I just want to say thank you all so much. This is really meaningful to me for a bunch of reasons. And I appreciate the work that you're doing. It's important work. And also, I just want to recognize this is so special that even though we have a handful of people here, having an embodied experience cannot be understated because there's a human energy that comes even if you're not talking to each other. And that's in part what impelled me to kind of speak, because just listening to y'all, it really kind of stirred up a lot of things in me. So just quickly, this, I was surprised to receive this. I was really not expecting any of it. But it's cool for a few reasons. One, I actually knew John Nichols. When I was a younger person starting to work here, John was one of the earliest people that I learned from and how to kind of work in the built environment. He was really kind of instrumental in helping me empty out all of Driscoll North for the demolition for the community commons to be built. So John and I worked alongside each other, and I did get to see how he went above and beyond his role. The other thing, as you all mentioned, as Tali mentioned, my parents had 8 kids, and I was the oldest and only boy, and I had 7 sisters. So, like, my earliest understanding of equity was an organic one, not an intellectual one, and it was rooted in love because I loved my sisters, and I recognized like how they were treated differently than I was, and that just created an organic sense of like, no, that's my sibling. They can absolutely do anything that I can do. So my entire life, I was impelled by that. And to this day, my youngest sister is 10 years old, and I tell them that there's nothing you can do. Always ask questions and trust your ability to imagine. So that's really where that kind of sense of, again, equity and the importance of empowering all of this around you developed. And then over the course of my life, as I kind of reflect, it's kind of interesting. All of my greatest teachers and people who nurtured and evolved me were women. From my high school teacher, Mrs. Davison, to my faculty in college, like Maria Elena Cepeda. And to this day, like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the powerful women at this place who invested in me, who took the time to teach me, and who took the time to care and show me things that I might not have seen myself. And I'll name some of them because I saw a few of them on the chat. Teresa Hernandez, Heidi Perman, Nikki Latino, Lily Rodriguez, Rebecca Chop, and and least not last but not least, Jane Lofgren, who's actually here today, the associate university architect who I worked alongside every single day for the past 4 years now. And she taught me a lot about creating spaces that are good for humans, that allow humans to thrive. That being said, one last thing I'll just say that I learned a long time ago from my teachers that when you see harm and inequity and marginality around you, you don't just use your positionality or whatever iota of privilege you have to address those things because it's the right or ethical thing to do, but it's because our collective liberation is entwined. So when we talk about empowering the people around us, whether they be women or people of color or anyone that's marginalized, their liberation is tied up with all of our liberation. So thank you again. This means so much. I really appreciate the space here. Thank you.
All right, I think that the Women's Coalition needs to make t-shirts. I think they need to say, we need more Mo's, and, and it would be awesome. So that wraps up our program. As I mentioned earlier, we will make sure that your comments in the chat reach all of our wonderful winners. And thank you to each of you. I always learn so much going through the award nomination process, figuring out who our winners are going to be. And it just amazes me. Your energy, your passion, your constant ability to choose the right thing and make good choices for our collective community are what keeps me driven to do this work. So thank you all so much. We look forward to sharing the rest of HerDU with you. And the award winners' names will be added to the Women's Coalition Awards page on our website today. And I highly recommend that you reach out to them to learn more about what they're doing and how you can aid in that good work. Thank you.